Hey guys, so this is the Module 8 walkthrough video. As you can see in the note and in the link that's there, modules from this point forward are going to work a little bit differently than our previous modules. They also are a little bit different than what was originally outlined in the syllabus. The way I had originally had it, you would have your discussion board on Monday, your quiz on Wednesday, and then you were doing some pre-writing assignments on the upcoming essay, and then the second Wednesday you had your quiz, which would mean that you were doing pre-writing assignments before you reviewed the course material. So that didn't really seem to make a lot of sense when I was really thinking about it, and I thought there was a better way to do it. So we've changed it so that essay modules are 2-week modules as they were before, but week 1 is about going through the course content. Week 2 is about application. So in week 2, you'll be actually making the essays. So definitely go through and look at the announcement from earlier about how the modules are going to work from here on out. There's also this video right here as well for you to look at to kind of walk you through those changes and those updates. But right now we are focusing on Module 8, so let's go ahead and look at the start page for Module 8, kind of like always. As I mentioned, the pattern is a little bit different now. Their modules are 2 weeks long instead of 1 week long, and so it's a little bit different. And the reason I did this is because essays take more to write than a paragraph. You know, there are 5 paragraphs in most essays. And I figured you guys really didn't want to be writing an essay a week. There are teachers that ask that. I feel like that's a little bit tough on the students and doesn't really give them the time to focus on learning. So I spread it out a little bit more. But you are definitely going to want to put effort into these modules because essay writing is really the foundation of pretty much all writing you're going to do in college. You'll see discussion boards in future assignments. It'll say like 500 to 700 words for a discussion board. Really what the teacher's asking you for is an essay. You will see short answer, raise response, short answer in a response of 300 to 500 words. The teacher is asking you for the body of an essay more than likely, and they'll let you skip the intro and the conclusion. So pretty much research papers or essays too. Pretty much every bit of writing you're going to do from this point on in some way or another is going to relate to the essays that we're talking about here. So I wanted to give you some practice with them and really give you some experience with structuring these so that you'll kind of have cheat sheets to make them easier later. So this module, we're talking about descriptive narrative essays, which kind of build on what we talked about in the descriptive paragraphs and the narrative paragraphs. We're also going to be talking about problems with pronouns. And if you remember, pronouns are those words that replace nouns. And they mostly function like nouns with a few very, very important differences. So we're going to be talking more about those. So you're going to need to review the course material for Module 8. That includes the problems with pronouns PowerPoint and writing a descriptive narrative essay PowerPoint. Those parts are the same as previous modules, but there's also some other stuff here. I want you to look at the handout on pronoun antecedent agreement, specifically focus on the first page. If you want to try your hand at it, do some exercises, you can look at the exercises on the following pages. There are also 3 sample essays that you will need to read in order to do the discussion boards. That's why the discussion boards have been moved to Wednesday instead of Monday to give you time to review that material. As always, you want to watch the video lectures and the walkthroughs and complete the following assignments. You will notice there are more assignments here. The personal essays discussion board, the Module 8 quiz, and then you have a pre-writing assignment for the descriptive narrative essay, which I've abbreviated as DNE. You have an outline for the descriptive narrative essay and the essay itself. These assignments build on each other. So the outline will refer you to questions from the pre-writing assignment, and you want to make sure that you do all of them. The assignments are worth a lot more points now than they were before. Just the outline is worth 50 points. The essay is worth 100. So if you don't do these assignments, you lose a lot of points and your grade can suffer a lot. But on the other hand, if your grade is not where you want it to be right now, this is going to give you a chance to catch up. If you really, hit it running with these essay modules, you still can come a long way in these last few weeks. And of course, the reason essays are worth more points is there's more involved in them, right? Like, it makes sense that there would be more points if you're writing 5 paragraphs instead of 1. So due dates. Mondays, nothing is due. This is time for you to read over the sample essays, look at the PowerPoints, get ready for the assignments that are coming. Wednesday, your discussion board is due. Remember, you do need to read the sample essays for that. Friday, the module, sorry, it should be 8 quiz. That's a typo. Module 8 quiz is due. And that's going to be on the descriptive narrative essay. It's also going to be on the problems with PowerPoint, or problems with pronouns PowerPoint. Then on Monday, March 15th, you have your descriptive narrative essay pre-writing assignment due. On Wednesday, you have the outline due. And on Friday, you have the essay due. And there's a little note down here about Connect composition. I talk more about this in another announcement and in the walkthrough video that I just did. That's also in Module 8. So now let's go back to Module 8. Just waiting on it to load. All right, so here's the problems with pronouns PowerPoint. Here's the descriptive narrative essay. This is pronoun antecedent agreement, the handout that I want you to look at. As always, we have our video lectures right here. You will see the sample essays are in their own little subcategory to make them easier to find. You do need to read all 3 of them. Burying Grandma and the Happiness Spreadsheet are both college admissions essay. My First Job is kind of a more typical essay written in classes. But these are all ones that you do want to read. Then we have this discussion board on personal essays. The first prompt has to do with, choose one of them that resonate, one of the essays that resonated with you, and explain why you think it was effective, focusing on techniques that you think that the writer may have used. So this might be descriptions that they made. This might be structural things like how they use topic sentences and thesis statements, the order they present ideas, anything like that. So the next 2 questions, 2 and 3, ask you about your experience with writing a college admissions essay, because college admissions essays are descriptive narrative essays 99% of the time. So if you've written one before, what did you write about? What would you improve now? If you've not, what story or message might you use for an admissions essay? And why did you choose that? And then the 4th question, some of these don't necessarily follow the guidelines that I've given you. And as you get more experienced with writing, you'll find that a lot of the guidelines are flexible, but you have to kind of learn the rules before you can break them, before you know which ones are really, really important and which ones you can kind of put to the side a little bit. So this last one asks you to look for similarities in between what we've discussed and differences. So if they have more than 5 paragraphs or less than 5 paragraphs, why do you think the writer did that? If the thesis statement doesn't follow the X equals A plus B plus C format, why do you think they made that decision? Or if they're using the same technique, so you say they have topic sentences in all of them, well, why do you think that writer chose to include that step, even if they did something different? So you've got some options for things that you can write about in the discussion board. As always, they need to be 150 words each and at least 50 words response to one of your peers. Then you have your quiz here. The quiz is all objective this time, so it's all true, false, multiple choice, that kind of thing. Then here is our exercises on descriptive narrative writing. And I'm waiting for it to look. Do follow the assignment instructions here. If I can't tell which question you're answering, you don't get points for it. I need to be able to assess the work that you've done. This is not just participation. So make sure that you number your responses so that I can tell what question you're answering. Probably the easiest way to do that is to download it, as a Word document and then just change the document. So you can see that these are related to kind of the steps in the process. You have which prompt do you think you're most likely to write about, and then you have question 2 is asking you basically to do the analyze the prompt step. Then 3 is asking you to do some pre-writing to select a topic. 5 through 7 are helping you to write your thesis statement. 8 is going to ask you to choose one of the structures from the PowerPoint. And then 9 is helping you to develop content, and 10 is helping you to develop your conclusion. Then if we go back over here to the outline, you'll see that I reference numbers on the pre-writing assignment to use in the outline, especially in the intro and conclusion parts. Okay, so anything in between these lines, you need to follow this format exactly. If it is in a different format, then you will get points taken off and possibly a 0. So these elements, they do have to be there. I do want to see the topic sentence, a list of your evidence and points, and your transition sentences here. I do want your name, the name of the class, the date, and the title here. This is just for the body though, so it shouldn't be too hard to do. You can see use questions 3 through 7 from the pre-writing assignment to create your thesis statement. Use question 9 as needed for the body. And so that's referenced there. And then down here, you do not have to do the intro and conclusion part of the outline. That is up to you, but I would do it if you're having trouble with that, because it kind of guides you through what I'm looking for, and it'll make it much more likely for you to get a better grade. So here you can see, your hook, choose one, a vivid image or rhetorical question. These are common choices for hooks, and then from there, say you choose a vivid image, then you would know you wanted to write a vivid image there. For context, rephrase your answers for 9A through C to create this. For the conclusion, and then it kind of takes you through the steps. And the so what statement uses question 10. So all the questions, or most of the questions in the pre-writing assignment, are used in creating the outline, and then the outline you build on to actually create your essay. The essay itself is very similar to the paragraph assignments. I'm running out of time, so we'll go through it pretty quickly, but go. So here are your prompt options for different things that you can choose. If you choose the same topic that you did for the paragraph, just resubmitting the paragraph will get you a 0. It does need to have the necessary number of paragraphs and the structural elements, introduction, body, conclusion. There do need to be topic, sentences, and transition and exposition for each one. The guidelines, many of them are the same as in the paragraphs, like the formatting is the same. Remember that your introduction should have a hook, clear thesis statement, and provide background or context to the reader. Your body paragraph should start with a topic sentence and end with a transition sentence. Each body paragraph needs to be a minimum of 4 sentences long. Evidence should be focused on sensory details and be introduced, presented, and analyzed. And your conclusion needs to recap the most important parts of your paper and end with a so what statement. Points will be taken off if those are not addressed. And then finally, the last thing here is the rubric, which is different for the essays. Let me see if I can get to it here. Okay, here it is. So you'll have your thesis statement, overall organization, paragraph structure. Paragraph structure is going to include things like topic, transition sentences, what's happening in the individual paragraphs. Overall organization has to do with the structure of the paper as a whole, not just in individual paragraphs. Evidence and argument, style and voice, grammar, mechanics and conventions, and assignment adherence. So you can look at this rubric to get kind of a sense of how we're going to get to that 100 points. I apologize for my cat, but again, I didn't want to re-record it when she's just meowing in the last 2 minutes. So that's it for this walkthrough, and I look forward to reading your essays and seeing your work. Have a great day.